What up, gang of Langage? Carolina Jackpot time. Chickadee check, checking in. It is Saturday evening. It's almost 9 p.m. and I'm making my way home to the upstate of South Kakalaki from Columbia, South Carolina. The pearl that is in the middle of the oyster, that's the state of South Carolina. From the battle on Bull Street, yes, in Segra Park, where the Columbia Fireflies play their minor league games. South Carolina versus Clemson today in baseball. It was more like the bloodbath on Bull Street today. South Carolina drops the second game in the series to Clemson Taters by a score of 10-2. Last night, South Carolina gave away game one of the series in Founders Park by a score of 3-2. And I know you guys are sitting here saying, well, I don't want to listen to this. Let me click off. This is a baseball video. Don't click off, please, because I have a little bit to say and I got a lot to say. I'm tired of this. I'm absolutely beyond tired of this shit. South Carolina should have a better athletic program at this point in time than what it has. And this is just absolutely clown show-like. You are doing everything you can to make Clemson's athletic program look more adequate than what it really is. Yeah, the Taters are off to a 9-0 start, 10-0 after today's start in baseball. That's pretty good. I mean, you can't deny the fact that that's pretty good. You also can't deny the fact that they haven't played anybody. And you also can't deny the fact that both these games are nothing that they did. They're not. They're nothing they did. You gave last night's game away. You gave today's game away. Two separate relief pitchers South Carolina brought in. The first pitch that both of those son of bitches threw was at least 10 feet over the catcher's head. Two wild pitches, two pitchers, two wild pitches, two first pitches. Where else do you see that happen? I mean, it was like watching a cartoon. It was like watching a cartoon. More passed balls, balls thrown into dirt, balls thrown over the first baseman's head. You gave the game away. You're lucky it wasn't worse than what it was. You're lucky it wasn't worse than what it was. Does Clemson have a decent baseball team? Yeah. They have a world-beaten baseball team? No. Do I think they'll win the ACC this year? No. No. Do I think they're that good? No. You proved it last night. South Carolina beaten last night. Couldn't hold it. Couldn't do it. Couldn't cut the mustard. Just couldn't dig deep down, grab your balls when it counted, and get the damn win. You just couldn't gut one out. And it's been the same thing. It was the same thing in freaking basketball this year. You go on the road, you lose to them by 15 points. That team was horrible. They were terrible. That was one of the worst Tater basketball teams I have seen in years. And you lost to them by double digits. I don't care about the COVID excuse. You were better. You were better. But it was a valid reason, which brings me to something else. Ray Towner, athletic director, for which, I think Shane Beamer hire, I think it was a good hire so far. I'm not going to sit here and say that it was a home run hire, because that has not been proven to me yet. That's not been proven to me yet. I like his enthusiasm. I like his shtick. I like what he's done with the transfer portal so far. Now, but we are really lumping a lot of praise and a lot of accolades from a guy who was a bowl game loss away from having a losing record this year. We're lumping a lot of praise and accolades on a guy who scored 0 points. 0 points against those son of a bitches from the upstate this year. 0. And they weren't that good. Yes, I know they won double-digit games. Well, you know why? It was double digits because you crapped the bed against them. You crapped the bed. You had an opportunity, if you had played well offensively, to beat those sorry son of bitches, but you didn't do it. You didn't do it. You didn't play well offensively tonight or last night, so you lost again. You're making their programs look like they're up here when really they're about right here. I use the freight train analogy a lot, and I used it in the video the other week talking about Texas A&M just really not being that great of a football program. They're just not. They're really good. They're above average, but they're not great. We talked about Tennessee the past 3 years. They've been great. No, they've been mediocre. This past year, they were a little bit above mediocre for them. They had an improved season over what they had been in the past, and I think that it's fair to say, unobjectively, they exceeded expectations. But both those teams are coming at South Carolina 130 miles an hour like a bolt of lightning Amtrak locomotive that ain't gonna stop. To everyone else, they look like a Lionel toy train set that you got when you were 7 years old on Christmas. And you sat in the middle of a floor on a piece of plywood, and your dad hammered all these little tracks in there one by one intricately to set up Lionel Toy Train Village for you so that you could play with it for hours on end, having unbridled enjoyment and 7-year-old ecstasy, I must say. Where was I? Anyway, a Lionel Toy Train to everybody else, speeding locomotive to the Gamecocks. That's what the Tater athletic programs are right now. All of them. Except for the women's basketball team. We've always got that to hang our garter on. The women's basketball team. Oh my gosh. Man, I don't know. I can't, I can't take a whole lot of this. I'm getting older, man. I'm getting later into my 40s. And as that happens, your metabolism slows down, your eyesight begins to fail. I found myself squinting at things that I didn't squint at 5 years ago. I found myself just downright unable to read things that I could read 5 years ago, and it's not illiteracy. It's the fact that I can't see them. I've noticed myself getting tired a lot sooner than I used to back in the day. It's all part of getting older. And these Gamecocks sports teams failing miserably against Clemson, for one, and against other teams that they should be as good or better than, is saddening. This baseball team won the College World Series 12 and 11 years ago, respectively. Went to the championship of the College World Series just 10 years ago. How in the hell are you recruiting this bad just 10 years later, but you're absolutely getting shellacked by your upstate rival who's really just not that great? You just make them look like they are. They beat up on weak competition, and guess what? Now, we're part of the weak competition. Those College World Series days are gone, and unfortunately, I don't think they're coming back. Not anytime soon, and definitely not with this idiot we got in the dugout. If you watch that game today, put in a pitcher, gave up 3 runs automatically as soon as he came in. Game was tied 1-1. Your starter, it reached his pitch count. His last name was Hall, by the way. Yours, Carolina Jackpot's last name. So you didn't trust a Hall to get the job done. You bring in some other goof tooth, and he immediately throws a wild pitch, and then proceeds to look like he's never played baseball before. The next pitcher they brought in it was so sawed off, I thought they brought him up from the C team. I'm beside myself. I'm angry. I'm aggravated. I'm confused. Am I a little bit perturbed? Get it together. Please. This old body can't take much more. I'll see y'all later. Appreciate it. Peace. I'm out. Still spurs up to my toes up. My toes up. See, I can't even speak right anymore. Go Cox. Woo! Let's salvage 1 out of 3 tomorrow.